All right, let's look at geologic time and fossils today. Um, here's a good idea about fossils here. We have fossils, a scientist that studies fossils as a paleontologist. What a great word. Fossil, a fossil that is preserved. Preserved evidence that organism was there will be a trace fossil, like a footprint. Tells you it's there, nothing belonging to the organism. A preserved remains of the organism. One way is preserved fossil could be carbonized. This is just organic film because carbon, organic means it contains carbon, just a film on top of the rock that came from the organism that was alive. Preservation is when the entire thing is preserved. This looks like some type of elephant here. Okay, it's a vertebrate, very important. Another type of preserved remains could be replacement fossils. First cast is a cast. That's like a three-dimensional representation of it without any of it being that. Here's a mold fossil, where it's just an imprint into the rock that looks exactly like the organism. Then you have a petrified, where all the parts of the organism have been replaced by minerals, and it becomes very heavy. There's your way that invertebrates can be cast in molds like that. Awesome. So fossilization is an organism dies and is buried quickly in an oxygen-free environment. Like a great place to be buried would be in a underwater in a pond or somewhere it doesn't move a lot of water. Great. Organisms' hard parts are preserved or replaced by minerals that, like bones, shells, and teeth. And that's petrified when that happens. Fossil remains are exposed and are found by a paleontologist. The next fossils we talked about before live for a short time, live in lots of places. They preserve well, they're common, and they're easy to identify. Okay, the fossil record, organisms begin to exist, go on a period of time, and go extinct. Organisms become more complex over time. Diversity also increases through geologic time. Fossils record a series of mass extinctions. These events mark the end of major eras, periods and eras. Okay. Classify the fossils here. This looks like a footprint. Footprint is a trace fossil. Explain your answer. This is just a trace of the organism, nothing of the organism itself. This tree looks like it's been petrified. That means that the parts of the tree have been, oh look, answer right there, beautiful, have been replaced by minerals, make it petrified like that. Okay, this black looks like it says organic residue of a fish. This is carbonized. We know that because it's just a flat, not three-dimensional, not imprint. And over here are preserved remains. It's like a cast, three-dimensional idea of what this was, but not actually that. Then we have a preserved fossil, which is this bug, a bee that's stuck in amber, preserved, exactly what it looked like when it was alive. The last one we have a mole, where it looks like it just made an imprint into the rock. Okay. This side over here, there's questions about which would make a better fossil, worm or a snake. Snake has bones. It's going to preserve better. Mouse or a dog. Dog has harder bones than a mouse. They can like run under doorways. They're very strange. A beaver in a pond, a possum in the road. In the pond would preserve better because it's oxygen free, at least, it's dissolved oxygen in the pond. Fish or a crab. Crab's got harder parts. Should be able to last longer. Brachiopod, the same thing. Harder parts. sea cucumber, this, whatever it is. Okay. All right, recent time, that's the smallest time. Mammals and birds become common here. Reptiles are most common during the Mesozoic era. Dinosaurs exist then. Ends with the extinction of the dinosaurs due to meteor impact, as far as I can know. Paleozoic area, first time we had hard body organisms with bones, teeth, and shells. Ends with an extinction. Most of life is gone. Precambrian is 8/9 of geologic time. So 88% of all time existed in Precambrian. First exists as bacteria, algae, worms, and sponges. Here's a representation of geologic time with important things that happen. If you pick the rock, contain musgrave spirifer brachiopods, you could confidently say the rock was from. So if you look at, here's that strange word. You come across over here, it's in the Devonian period and the Paleozoic era. Makes sense. What happens at the end of the Paleozoic era to start the Mesozoic era? End of the Paleozoic, before the Mesozoic, all of these things are gone. Everything dies out, pretty much. Extinction of most life that gets on to the Mesozoic. That's the end of this little talk here. Click on your quiz.